the differences between like muscle cars like this, the Camaro SS1LE muscle car versus, oh, look at this truck want to play out. It's going to be a lot smoother and a lot faster. Woo! Oh my God.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
All right, so in today's video, we're going to discuss the differences between like muscle cars like this, the Camaro SS1LE, and JDM cars like the Honda Civic Type R. That's a shout out to 100 Gang Nate. That's one of the vehicles that he has right now, and why you would want to go for one over the other. So first off, one of the main reasons why you would want to go for a vehicle like this, it's going to be the sound. The sound is amazing, and I'll give you guys a quick clip of what it sounds like once you're under acceleration on the interior of this car right here. Let's see now. And yeah, so you're not going to get that same type of sound out of a JDM. I did own a Subaru WRX STI, and that has one of the best sounds out of any four-cylinder JDM vehicle you could think of, and I'll put a clip of that right here. Your STI with the cob axis port, it's going to be a lot smoother and a lot faster. Woo! Oh my God! And so much more fun. And yeah, and while it sounds amazing, it's still not as good as the, you know, the V8 rumble that you get from cars like Mustang GT, Challenger, Scat Pack, or Challenger Hellcat, or, you know, Camaro SS1LE, Camaro SS, or Camaro Z01, Z011LE, those type of vehicles. So that the sound is definitely, you know, if you like a big booming sound, then you want to get a muscle car. But I would say the JDM and the tuner cars, they have, if you want to be able to go fast and not wake up the whole neighborhood, that may be a reason why you'd want to get one of those cars, because that's what I loved about my Golf R. My Golf R for me was so fast that, and it wasn't very loud, so I could get on it and the whole neighborhood didn't know. So that was fun. So there's appeal either way. One of the main reasons why you would want to get a tuner car, especially like a JDM version, over a car like a Camaro or something like that, is that they're a little bit easier to control. Because I remember when I was in my STI and we were doing like some twisty turns with me and Charles and his Camaro SS1LE, like he was kind of like sliding out and harder to keep up with me in the bigger turns. In the turns, I was getting him. I was just like, it was so much easier to control and power in and out of turns. So that made like a big difference. It's just a lot easier to control those lighter JDM cars versus a heavier rear wheel drive vehicle, you know? So if you want to have more precision and feel more in control of the vehicle, like get cars like, especially like the Honda Civic Type R and stuff like that. Like I would get cars like that. Like those are amazing cars if you want to feel in control of the vehicle. And, you know, and other than that, I mean, I would say the next big thing is road presence. Now it depends. This is obviously subjective. It depends on what you like. But like today, I was riding around in a Camaro and I saw a guy in a Ferrari, and I don't even know what model Ferrari was. I'll see if I could put a clip of it here so you guys can see. I shot it with my phone, so it looks different. Punch it, punch it. So the guy in the Ferrari was like looking at me and giving me thumbs up on my car and stuff, because, you know, it just kind of has that same sort of presence. It is a muscle car, but if you look at it, like it kind of has like somewhat supercar of a presence to it. Like it has a good presence to it. Like, you know, you see the huge lip, and, you know, and everything is functional. Like, you know, you could push your whole hand through here, and, you know, and it goes straight to the wheels, and it's just, you know, it has supercar proportions and stuff. So supercar people, I feel like really they rock with it, versus some supercar people may snub their nose at like a JDM. Me personally, I see like a JDM or a tuner car, I know what they're about, so I love them. And most of those, you know, once you tune them and stuff, most of them are faster than muscle cars and supercars. Like I've seen Honda Civics beating twin turbo Lamborghinis. Like I'm sure you guys seen videos like that too. So, you know, but if you just want to get a car out the box that has a good presence and stuff like that, then get in a car like a Camaro or a Mustang or a Challenger, and even some Chargers, you know, I feel like those, you get that right out the box. But this is all up to you. Like, comment below, let me know which vehicles you're more into. Are you more into tuner vehicles, or are you more into muscle cars? So the main reason, in my opinion, is sound. And as soon as I get a little bit of, a straightaway here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like the JDM cars, you can tune them, and you can, and all the tuner cars, you can actually put exhaust and do stuff to make it sound better. But you can go off the showroom floor like I did with this Camaro, buy it straight off the showroom floor, take it out onto the highway, and it's going to sound just like this. Hold on, let's see, we got some daylight. Yeah, you're going to get that V8 rumble and grumble immediately. So that's one of the reasons why you would get a muscle car, or, you know, a V8 car versus a JDM or a tuner car, right? Is that you get that instant muscle, that instant sound. You don't have to tune it, you don't have to do anything. Plus, in my case, it's a naturally aspirated vehicle, so you get like instant torque and torque in most of the gears, versus having to wait for the turbo to spool up or anything like that. And another reason would be reliability. You know, because you don't have to tune it, you don't have to do anything. Like this vehicle stock is 455 horsepower, 455 foot-pounds of torque stock, and I would say to the wheels, it's anywhere from like 380 to the wheels to 400 at the wheels. There's even been some dynoed at like 410 at the wheels, 420. So, you know, it all depends on the vehicle. Each one is a little bit different. So yeah, so that's another reason why you would want to get like a muscle car, is that you can buy it like me and don't even modify it and still have a whole lot of fun with it, right? Now, some of the reasons why you may want to get a tuner car versus the muscle car is because you can take it from, they're easily tunable, so you can take it from a stock application and do many different things to it and turn it into like a totally different car, where it's basically your car, your design, your thing, and you can make it, you know, what you want it to be. And that's the beauty for me of the tuner culture, is that no car is the same. Like, you know, however you decide to tune yours or dress it up, or, you know, it's a very individualistic type of thing. It's like, it's your baby, you know? Another thing is, I feel like worldwide, tuner cars have a way larger audience worldwide. So if you're like a YouTuber, you're probably better off focusing on the tuner cars or the imports versus muscle cars, because muscle cars is mostly just US, and then a few places like Australia, Canada and stuff may be interested in them a little bit, but not, you don't get as much. Like a Type R, a Civic Type R has a larger worldwide audience than a Chevy Camaro does. And that's just, you know, the way it is. Same thing with the Subaru WRX and Subaru WRX SDI. Those cars have like a much bigger following than a Chevy Camaro or even a Mustang. Now, Mustangs tend to do well internationally because you can get them in places in South Africa, and you can get them in the UK and stuff like that. So you can get them in those places. So it has a little bit more of a following, but it's still not as widespread as like a Subi or you know, a Honda Civic Type R, or even, you know, some of the other, like the Nissan Z even, you know. Now the Nissan Z, that's a very like special car in my opinion, because it has great heritage, and it goes back to like the 60s if I'm not mistaken, you know, where it's like both, you know, overseas and in the US, it's always had like a great following. So that being said, I'm probably gonna see if I can go check out a Nissan Z here today, see how well I fit in it, because as you saw in my last video, I'm 6'6", so I fit pretty well here in the Camaro. Not sure how I would fit in the Z, so I'm gonna go check one out in a little bit, and we'll continue this video a little bit later because I'm gonna check out the Nissan Z. But actually no, I'll wrap this video up now. So basically, if you want a muscle car, if you want like a car, if you want a car where you don't have to modify and it's fast out the box, get you a muscle car. You know, they're fun, the sound is great, they're reliable, depending on which brand you go with actually, you know. But the downside to it would be that if something breaks on a muscle car, if you have to repair something, like, it's going to be way more versus a tuner car, right? So be prepared for that. And also, if you want to modify it, it's going to be way more expensive modifying a muscle car versus, oh, look at this truck want to play. Hold on. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let those bald eagles fly a little bit. But yeah, but that's the upside of a muscle car, is that you get that sound and it's so much fun and you can do a lot with it. You know, as far as like, you know, you can make it really fast, but you're gonna spend a whole lot of money. And it definitely has a look. I feel like some muscle cars are like on the borderline of like supercars. So, you know, they're great, but it's a lot more expensive. And, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, most people keep them stock because of how expensive it is to modify. With the tuner car, you'd like to get a tuner car because you want to make it an individual like type of vehicle specific to you. And it's easier to do that because it's so much less expensive to modify them. There's so much aftermarket support worldwide, so you can pick and choose however you want to modify it, make it your own, have fun with it. And if something breaks, it's easy to replace. It's not as expensive. It's not going to cost you a mortgage, you know, to like even do engine swaps and stuff like that. So yeah, so I feel like, you know, tuner cars have a bigger audience, especially if you're a YouTuber. It has a much wider audience. The cost of maintenance is a lot lower, and a lot of times you can make them faster than muscle cars because the amount of money you spend to get speed out of it compared to the muscle car is a lot less. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Race Car Friends out. Another thing that you get with muscle cars versus JDM is that I personally, in my opinion, like the muscle cars have, especially the Camaro and the Camaro SS1 Elite and Z01 and Z11 Elites, I feel like they just have a better presence to them. They have way more of a presence versus a lot of JDM cars. Like I just got through checking out the Nissan Z, and it just doesn't have the presence of the Camaro. Neither does the Supra, in my opinion. But yeah, I think like the muscle cars, especially the Camaro and the Mustang, and actually even the Challenger, I think like, and even some of the Chargers, they just have more of a road presence. Like they stand out a little bit more. But like I said, you got to pay more for that extra presence and stuff, and the maintenance is way more as well. So something to consider. But yeah, better sound to me, better look, a little bit more reliable for the power, and yeah, that's it. But here's where I feel like cars like the Civic Type R actually beats out a lot of muscle cars, because the Civic Type R does have a good presence. It's long, it's wide as well, it's very fast with just limited mods, and the practicality of it. Like right now I'm getting groceries and stuff, and as you can see, all I have is really two usable, you know, front seats, and the rear seats not so much, you know, and even the trunk space, right? So like I already have stuff here in the trunk, and you know, not that much can fit in here. Like it's pretty deep once you get in there, but you can see like the opening is not that wide, so you can't get that many things in there. But yeah, so if you want practicality, if you want the best of all worlds, go JDM. Get a car like the Honda Civic Type R. Get a car like, let me see, what's another good, oh actually this one isn't JDM, but this one is a tuner car, is the Golf R. The Golf R is a great great vehicle. Get a car like the Subaru WRX. Those are like great alternatives because you can have fun with them and still do, you know, regular everyday stuff. I feel like the Camaro and cars like that, they're like a dying breed, but what they're good for is the sound, the thrill it gives you to drive them. And then another thing that I've noticed, like coming out of my Golf R and going into this Camaro, this car does not drive as precisely as my Golf R. My Golf R was a much more precise vehicle, like when it came to turning, going into corners, coming out of corners. Like this is good on a racetrack, but I'm talking about regular daily driving. The Golf R felt way more precise, and I spoke to 100K Nate, and he also said that the his Honda Civic Type R felt a lot more precise too. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Race Car Friends out.